and everybody wants to jump in the plane and fly over or get on the boat and sail over. That's not advisable right now. When you talk about sailing over, where you're going to dock, the docks are all been designated. If you want to fly over, where you're going to land. Okay? At Bahamas Air, we're the only airline that's been given the okay to fly into Treasure Keys. Now, Marshall Airport, I understand you can't fly into there. So we're flying into Treasure Keys. Treasure Keys is about an hour from Marshall. So for those that want to just, and we understand and we appreciate everybody wanting to help, but please, make sure it's coordinated. Make sure it's a coordinated effort. And make sure you touch base with whatever Consul General Office, Linda Markey is down there. I'm in touch with them. They called me to ask me to provide some warehouse space. Because we're inundated because everybody wants to help. And there are a lot of things being collected. So it's okay to collect things, but what are you going to do with it after that? So we're trying to have a coordinated effort in terms of where we're going to store the things, what we're going to do after we get rid of it. Earl Miller, who is the executive director for the National Association of Bahamas, he was previously the general manager for the Bahamas Cruise Office. He worked with the super yachts and the airplanes. So what they're doing down there now is they've gotten these people that he worked with in the past, the big yachts and the airplanes on standby. They've got things stored in the warehouse, and once they get the okay that it's okay to go, there'll be a flotilla of boats going over from the South Florida area into the area, and they've got SEAL teams lined up to fly as well.
Thank you for that, Mr. Wilson. So the message is save the gas, save the airplanes and boats,
Yes.
and contribute directly to places like USAID and Red Cross, and leave those who are already coordinating with the Bahamas government, like your organization, to safely be able to help with this traffic. Thank you for that.
Mr. Wilson, we're elated to have you here with the resources that you bring to the table and your offer to the wider community to utilize Bahamas Air for transporting what's necessary. That's one concern that we now can put to the side.
Well, I want to caution you in terms of being able to transport it. We're limited as to what we can take commercially. But certainly if there's a group that wants to go over, what I'm looking at, and I've had a conversation with Pastor Wallace there, I understand that we have medical doctors and nurses and EMTs that want to get together and go over. So we'd like to coordinate that effort here from South Florida. Because you're going to have to fly into Nassau, basically, and then work with the medical facilities in Nassau to go over to where it's needed.
Okay, thank you very much.
And on that point, we have Blackhawks and other helicopters that are prepared for nurses and for doctors who want to contribute their time to help. We definitely need those, and we have, once we get you flying over there, we have assets on the ground to get them to places in need. So thank you.
Great, thank you.
Yes, and we have Pastor Wallace from the Bahamas as well. Pastor Wallace.
It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Pastor Wallace, why don't you join us at the
Yeah, please do.
I want everybody to use the mic when they can for anybody who has any hearing issues.
Or they can go to the podium.
Oh, the podium.
Go to the podium. Over to the right.
It's a pleasure to be here with you. I've been in touch with the Consul General's office in Miami, and they've asked me to coordinate the Kissimmee outreach with regards to coordination for assistance in the lieu of Hurricane Dorian. I've also just gotten off the phone with the Bahamas and my dear brother and Bahamas Air in coordinating a major medical mission. I think someone mentioned that this will not be a one-time thing. We're planning an effective outreach, so I know how to coordinate effective outreaches. Now it's time to coordinate something to benefit our country, and I'm committed to that. So I'm proud to be a Kissimite. I'm proud to be a Bahamian. That's why we're Bahamas and America together as always.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Pastor, can you relay some stories about your hearing back on the island and things?
Actually, yes, I can, because my parents are in Grand Bahama, and the island was basically decimated. And it's just today is the first day I was able to speak to my mother. But I have a brother at liberty to say, but expect a phenomenal amount of dead people.
We've seen this before, the reported amount is 20 folks that we lost, but we know that number is going to decline as search and rescue discovers that other folks.
It's gone to 30 officially, but
30 as of this morning.
you can expect quite a considerable larger amount.
Well, that's why search and rescue is so key right now, to make sure that we can save as many souls as possible.
I look forward to working with the city and with all of the agencies, and of course with Bahamas Air, Sister Karen for inviting me, and together we can really make a difference.
Last question, Pastor, and then we're going to go to other members of CAFA. Is there a place that people can drop off donations here in Kissimmee that you're coordinating with the consulate's office?
Yes, at ABBA Worldwide Ministries, which is on we're in the process of getting it. I'll get the exact address to you, but it's ABBA Worldwide Ministries in Kissimmee, and the drop-off times are 5 to 8. And
Starting when?
They'll be there tonight.
Okay. We just need that address before the end of this so that we can get it out to everybody.
Okay.
How do you spell the first name? It's
Alexis.
Alexis.
Yes.
Okay.
Wallace.
No, I mean, the worldwide industry.
Oh, ABBA. ABBA.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
And if you wouldn't mind getting us that address so we can announce it before the end of this. Okay, it'd be great to hear from members of CAFA on the other things that we're seeing right now.
And then we're gonna go to our city, Kissimmee.
At this time, I ask Dr. Green to go ahead and then, President King.
Once again, I want to say thank you for being and brothers and sisters here to see this afternoon. As a representative and coalition director for the Caribbean Outreach and Interest, thank you all. Our sister nation of Bahamas is truly experiencing a devastation, one that we've become so familiar with within the last 5 years. As it was in Puerto Rico, we know we're going to get more, we'll be hearing more of what is happening there. I've been in coordination with the British Consulate, and our efforts are being reached across the state. As you know, Miami, we now have Deltona. There are different cities that are literally taking sponsorship initiatives as to securing warehouses and then working through with the USCIS as well as with Bahamas Air. So the Caribbean Coalition has identified at least 20 different drop-off sites or named restaurants. There's Golden Cross, a few others, but there is a general outreach of participants that are getting the things going, and once there's a clear way to go, we'll be taking the vessels in. The consulate office has arranged through Bahamas Air different locations and drop sites. I was advised, because of the introduction to Ms. Wilson, that we're going to be coordinating a formal site here in Osceola to be ongoing. There's also an interest, as mentioned earlier, that this is going to be a long-term initiative. It's not just the fact that we're going to need medical supplies. Anytime there is this kind of devastation, we know there's going to be water diseases. We know we're going to be looking at some kind of epidemic, God forbid. And so what is happening now is that medical supplies are going in to preempt this kind of tragedy. I just want to be clear that, we're so fortunate to have, I must say this, and, Congressman Darren Soto, you have been an aid, an advocate, a leader to our Caribbean community. Not just now, but we see you as our Caribbean brother. We've seen devastations across the territory because it's the tropics. We know we have hurricanes, but we've seen within the last 5 years the intensity of these Category 5 hurricanes and the preparation that you and the other elected officials here in Central Florida, I must say, because we have been the exodus of the Puerto Ricans and other nationals, the Haitians and other, Caribbean dissidents. This is another exercise for us. There are so many organizations across the state that are participating and wanting to help. And so thank you again for promoting the initiative of looking out for the visitors, the domicile opportunities for people coming in from the Bahamas. I know you were working on that over the last last 2 days, yourself and other members of Congress. Let me just say this to everyone today. This is gonna be a long haul for Bahamian brothers and sisters. We're gonna see those numbers there's a preliminary number, we cannot disclose that because for obvious reasons, the devastation is so intense. Thank you again, Congressman Darren Soto. Thank you again to your active team. You know, I know we've heard it before. Vivian, your ground team, you guys are awesome. Thank you for stepping up to secure my community, my Caribbean-based community. And we're gonna all be a part of this. So as we will continue to give you updates as to where drop sites are, to where the vessels will be going in, and the collaboration on Bahamas here. Once again, the Caribbean community thanks each and every one of you here in the city. Thank you.
Thank you. The chair recognizes President King.
Thank you, President. I just want to tell you about some of the efforts that CAFA has initiated so far, and we're going to pursue along this road to recovery for our Bahamian family. I've been in touch with Southeastern Food Bank, Dr. Mark Anthony, and he's committed several pallets of dry food. And I heard the message clear about perishables and the like, so once we coordinate transportation in terms of trucks, that's the other thing. Any truck owners or anyone that can donate transportation in that form, because we need to move things around, please let us know so we can have the bank coordinate everything in that respect. With regard to funding, and I know you expressed the idea of USAID and the Red Cross. One of the things that we were thinking about using the offices of Sheriff Gibson was to establish a local bank account managed by, on behalf of the Caribbean and Floridian Association, managed by the Sheriff's Department, so that people can donate there, because you can get international donation coming through that process. Just think about the students at not only UCF, because we have an alliance right now has been ongoing with the Caribbean students at UCF. And we have representatives. I have a young lady, Shari Noel, that's in the audience, that's been a mentor to those students. And imagine they're having to do tests and exams and classes at this point and have to worry, because we invited them to be here, but they couldn't, because not only the fact that their families and their relatives and what's going on in the Bahamas, but the fact also that a few of those individuals, those students, are themselves homeless here in Central Florida, which is something else that we need to address later on. So we want to make sure that we help them. They've initiated a program where they're collecting donations, and they have an alliance with the airport to deliver those items, and we'll coordinate with them. I have a conference call on Monday with my office, Hoot Mifflin Harcourt, and I've reached out to them because Hoot Mifflin has always taken the lead in disaster relief and helping turkey drives and all. So we're going to have a conference call on Monday to initiate a drive to assist in each. And my staff and others have been asking, what can we do? So that's something that we're going to take care of.
And just so we're clear, this will be available on CAFA's website?
Yes, we'll put all that information.
And that website is?
CAFA8.org, CAFAINC.org. And we have a Facebook page as well. We'll put it. Also regarding the Caribbean Rhythms Radio Network, which I'm affiliated with, myself, my partner, Mr. Lewis Litter is in the back. Could you wave your hand, Lewis? Beginning this Saturday, our program is from 10 to 2 every Saturday. We'll be the leaders in terms of broadcasting out to the audience, to the population, as to what efforts can, and we'll invite even leaders themselves to come on the program and talk about coordinating efforts, and that's going to be a feature until we, this issue is dealt with. My wife, who's in the dentistry, has talked to me, and she's going to coordinate collecting organizations. She's reaching out to Colgate and some others to get dental supplies. And then we'll be talking to some of the medical professions in the organization to coordinate that kind of aspect as well. I just need to say at this point that, we need to take this effort very seriously. I looked at the television through the days when I was off watching the hurricane, preparing for the hurricane. And I listen to the radio, I listen to television. Some folks say we have hurricane relapse, so that we get the warning so often, and now people are not taking it serious. It's something that we need to take seriously. We need to be considerate and passionate. This is not a time to say they're them and we're we. We need to realize, you look at the pictures of the islands of the Bahamas, and we need to be considerate and passionate about our commitment to this effort. And just want to make sure that I didn't skip any of my notes. Mr. Dave Anderson from Kaichur restaurant here on Main Street, he called me a few minutes ago and he said I couldn't be there because I'm running some errands, but he is committed. He says, I'm not going to tell you the amount, but a check is there, and then whatever afterwards in terms of a drop-off site or whatever. So we encourage all the businesses from Commissioner Felix Ortiz, the Three Sisters, you're going to have a site there, and we're going to have drop-off. So thank you very much for coming out. And again, on behalf of CAFA, I want to make sure that we have a coordinated effort. We'll share the information with you later.
Thank you very much, Chairman King. And in the interest of time, I will forego my comments because I'm just reiterating what the members of CAFA have said before. So I'll just move on, and I wish to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your participation. And I am set agog by your presence here this morning.
Thank you, President Shaw. This is what I want to say. What has happened in the Bahamas, it's devastating. We can equate that to what happened in Puerto Rico and in the Virgin Islands. Similar situations. We were strong in assisting those islands, and we're going to be just as strong in assisting the Bahamas. We're asking John Q. Public, the general public, to be very, very much active in lending support to the Bahamas. It's a calling. To those whom much is given, let's give something back. Let's not think, oh, they'll be fine, it's okay. Doesn't take much, $5, $10, whatever the amounts are. Let's be consistent, be gracious in our approach, and be helpful. With that being said, as we move forward, the Caribbean organization, the Caribbean And Floridian Association, we're going to be caucusing directly with city and county and state representatives and commissioners. We're also communicating with businesses in the Central Florida area in terms of getting necessary resources. We're also, as Chairman King mentioned, we're going to be reaching out to our sheriff and KPD chief in order to have a bank account set up on behalf of this initiative. Reason being, we want transparency. We don't want folks being hesitant to give because of reasons beyond whatever. So I know the team, they're going to be speaking with Sheriff Gibson and Chief Odell in regards to helping to formulate and to facilitate that part of the structure going forward, where all fundings can be monitored and facilitated in a constructive and transparent way. That's very important to our organization. I'm very much happy to hear what Mr. Wilson has enumerated in terms of how Bahamas Air will be able to assist. It's very important. We're also in the process of looking at drop-off sites that Dr. Green has mentioned. That's very important. Chairman King also mentioned that. We don't want to be collecting tons and tons of items, but we don't have a place to store. We're going to be discussing that as we move forward, and here again, we'll be speaking with our commissioners in that regard. I'm happy to see our fantastic mayor here. We'll be speaking with him. I know Chairman King mentioned Commissioner Ortiz. We're going to be reaching out to Commissioner Ortiz in order to do some fundraising activities. By the way, Commissioner Ortiz is the owner of Three Sisters here on Main Street at the corner, right there. So we're going to be speaking to him about assisting us. I've been in contact with the Park and Shipping, who's very large out of Miami, and they have responded to me graciously. So that's something that I'm elated about. Collaboration is very important. Our team, along with various other entities, is going to be a huge collaboration. As many of the panel here have enumerated, it's not a short-term endeavor. This is going to take, it's long-term. We see what's going on in our sister island of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. It's still a lengthy process. This is not going to be a short-term affair. So we're going to be reaching out consistently as we go forward. And with that, I'll say thank you all for being here. I just want to graciously say to our Congressman Darren Soto, when the idea came and I decided to pick it up and run with it, and I consulted with Commissioner Eady and your fantastic Viviana Rodriguez, who without her, a lot of what we have done would not have been possible. So, Viviana, from the bottom of my heart, I know Angela's going to express her sentiments later on. I want to personally say to you thank you very much for all that you have done. You're a tremendous asset to our Congressman. Thank you. And with that, I'll pass it.
Before I say my spiel, I'd like you guys to hear from our mayor. Okay.
Absolutely. We're gonna, so we're coming to the mayor and then our mayor pro tem and our commissioners. Thank you for hosting us here today.
No, thank you so much for having this event, and thank you to the community to be here. I'm going to start by saying that before any logistic that can be talked about in here with the city of Kissimmee, we have to be very careful because we are a full commission here and we're on the sunshine violation if we commit ourselves in doing anything right now. So this is something that has to be brought up at a later date to the commission and the decision. So nothing of that, none of us here can make any type of conversation on what can be done. Second, on the part of KPD creating an account, KPD is not allowed and cannot create an account. But also, just to add to that, I think that that would be a confusion. If the sheriff department is already opening an account, I don't see the need of having another government entity, local government entity opening a second account. What I tell my community is, I can assure you that the city of Kissimmee community is a giving community. They will stand up. To me, I think before we start doing any type, and this is just my opinion, any type of collection, because I know that everyone that's here is already, their mind is thinking how we're going to start collecting. The local businesses are ready to move. I say first, let's work on logistics. Let's find where it's going to be stored, how is it going to be transported. So to me, personally, logistics is the #1 priority. Once those logistics are done, everyone here will jump in. I mean, this morning I was at the meeting that they have, the coffee club of the business owners in downtown Kissimmee. I mentioned that we were having this event here today, and there's quite a few of them that said, I'm here, and they're here, the business owners in downtown. So before they start doing collections, let's get the logistic in order. And again, it's been said, right now you have experts, boots on the ground in the Bahamas. They're doing search and rescue. I ask anyone in the community that is thinking of heading that way because they want to help, please stay out. You're actually causing more issues for our first responders because right now they're searching, rescuing. Let's get moving, let's get working, but let's get the logistics in place. Once the logistic is in place, I know that this community is just going to give as much as they can, and I know they will, they've done it before. So thank you so much, and for us, it's an honor to have you guys here in our chamber.
Commissioner Ortiz. And of course, we're just here talking about personal sentiments in compliance with the Sunshine Law.
Before you start,
Yes.
Commissioner Hawkins. Again, I was remiss, ladies and gentlemen, we have in our midst this afternoon the Deputy County Manager of the City of Kissimmee, Ms.
Deputy City Manager.
City Manager. Yes. Thank you.
That got in my ear really quick.
We don't know. We'll get right to you after.
Thank you, Mr. Ortiz.
Good morning. Well, I say thank you because we want to be part of what's going on. We're the same way from Puerto Rico, and what happened to us happened to you guys, and it's really bad. We're here to give our efforts, and right now I'm not talking as a commissioner, I'm talking as a human being. I'm ready to do whatever it takes. As you guys said, I got the 3 sisters in downtown. I'm ready to go to one of my martini bar and use it as a shelter to put on the cans. It's not always about making money, it's about helping the people. That's where everything comes out better. I have 3 rooms, I'll use 1 just to storage if we need to. Starting today, I already have a flyer, I got everything going on. Starting right now, I'm ready to collect anything we need. Once you guys have everything set up, then we'll pick it up, give it to you guys, and take it to wherever we need to. We have a lot of big trucks here in downtown that we need to use them all. Yeah, Mr. Mayor has one, I got one, my friend has one. We have trucks. So we'll move everything around if we have to.
I just want to say that I'm sorry for what happened in the Bahamas, and that's an eye-opener for us to be ready for whatever comes. I've been connected to Campus Crusade for Christ, which is a missionary ministry holding 5,300 missionaries, and they're doing a collection at the Florida Paints, and they're flying airplanes to the Bahamas, and it's with Representative Placken from Seminole. Placken. He's helping with the airport in Seminole. And there is a boat that left Dominican Republic that's asking for volunteers to help getting the people that are out there with nothing and bringing them to the boat. I don't have the information here. I have it on my Facebook page. If anybody wants to connect, this is just agencies that are open to help the community. They're doing collections also at Florida Paint. So this will be some places to add. So if they can't get to where you say, but they can get to other places. The thing is about working all together in unity. And that's what we're doing. Any information about the boat that's out there, it's legally done and everything. It's a Christian boat, just like Campus Crusade for Christ. They're missionaries with open hearts to help those that are in need. Any connection that you'll need, I can connect you with them. Campus Crusade is doing a lot of collecting. So I just want you to know that there's a lot of people knowing that you're hurting and we're with you. In the name of the Lord. God bless you.
Yes, and then we're going to pivot over next with our representative that will speak to this.
They've answered my question because I was going to.
Microphone, please.
I just wanted to acknowledge that many people do not have any idea as to what's going on. So I was suggesting I'm going to take this back to my church. And I know Mrs. McMillan is going to do the same thing with her church, because if you don't know, you can't do. And I really appreciate having the invitation to come today, because you hear the things on the television and the radio, but you really don't understand the extent and how important it is. So I just wanted to let you know that I will be going back to my church and seeing what we can do and knowing where to drop things off for these things that we want to contribute.
Thank you for that input, and what a great segue to give the floor to Mr. McMillan next to talk about some of the work on behalf of the NAACP. Thank you for coming.
Good morning again. The devastation that Bahamas experienced is what we were supposed to get.
That's right.
It was supposed to have been Osceola County, Central Florida, and all of Florida. We can say that our hearts go out to the Bahamas, but we can also say that we are truly blessed.
Yes.
And for us to be blessed, we have to get blessed with us. And I also contacted several members of the NAACP. We have Minister Nina Hill, who's here to represent her church. We have someone to represent a church in Osceola. So I reached out to those members who could also spread the word. And you have our full cooperation, and that we will participate and do whatever we can on behalf of the citizens, not just the black citizens, but on behalf of all of the citizens here in Osceola County. Our hearts go out, our pocketbooks are open, and our prayers will go up.
Hi again, I'm Dr. Arnold Wayne Johnson, and I'm the president of the Osceola County Democratic Veterans Caucus of Florida. And I want to thank Commissioner Eady and NAACP President Louis McMillan for giving me, extending an invitation for me to come here. My heart and my prayers and my committee's prayers go out to the individuals of Amoco and Freeport and other island inhabitants. Now, I'm a Bronze Star recipient from Gulf War I, and I earned my Bronze Star by being a first responder to the 1991 missile attack that killed 28 American soldiers. I'm not a stranger to disaster, and like my esteemed guest mentioned, this is a moment where we need to move out. But we need to move out in an organized fashion, and the key is logistics, 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 because the approach is multifaceted. We need to understand that the inhabitants of this island, as a result of the hurricane, have been reduced on the Maslow hierarchy of needs scale to basic needs or physiological needs. These individuals are not thinking about self-fulfillment. These individuals are not thinking about their esteemed needs. They're thinking about safety, food, water, warmth, rest, security. These individuals have been reduced to Maslow, bottom tier underneath hierarchy. And we need to mobilize and do something. As the director of public relations for the Golden Key International Honorary Society, I've mobilized my team to create a GoFundMe. And my target for that GoFundMe is at least $7,000. This money will be earmarked for the American Red Cross. I'm not an expert. I'm not a subject matter person. I'm not going to jump on a plane and go over. I'm not going to jump on a truck or a boat and go over. but I am going to get out there in the community and raise as much money as I possibly can to help these individuals. My team is an international team. We're out of Walden University, and we have mobilized this. I plan to, as the president of the Osceola Democratic Veterans Caucus, to also mobilize my team to conduct a GoFundMe account. And again, we're focusing, we're going to be breaking up into teams, and those teams are going to be focusing on providing money for food, water, warmth, and rest, and therefore we're going to be targeting those agencies, the American Red Cross, the Doctors Without Borders, and other organizations to help these individuals through virtual media. Again, my heart goes out to these individuals in Apico, Freeport, and other island inhabitants. And my two organizations are going to do as much as we possibly can to help these individuals restore their lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me perspective on what it's like for our military to be over there right now, because they're doing a lot of the heavy lifting, the Coast Guard, DOD, and others. So thank you for that. I know we have one more.
Yes, Congressman. I'd like to introduce Pastor Matthew Quino. Pastor is the incoming pastor for the Solid Rock Church of God. He's taking over from Bishop Blandon, and he has a large congregation. It's where the Caribbean and Floridian Association holds our monthly meetings. Most of our commissioners, they know where it's at, and so most of our invited guests knows where it's at. And I would like to have the pastor stand up and be recognized, and feel free to make your comments.
Make sure you give him the microphone.
The microphone is there.
Pastor Wallace.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm a preacher. You have to participate when I speak. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Wonderful. I'm so honored to be here. So profound and powerful. All of the remarks and comments. I've learned so much. It's really a humbling opportunity to speak. Just simply would like to say that Solid Rock Community Church of God will certainly be on the front lines of this hurricane relief endeavor. This Sunday is my first Sunday at Solid Rock and in this city. And I'm so glad that it was said. I thought I was going to be experiencing a hurricane my first weekend here, but we were spared. But so many stashed in their homes survival items, cases of water. I know people were taking 14, 15 cases of water. That's why Walgreens ran out. But it's important in the excess that we have, it wasn't for us. It's now to ship over to the Bahamas. And I think that's the power of this moment. As it was said, we're blessed to be a blessing. And so Solid Rock, even this Sunday, is turning our church into a storehouse. We're taking our entire fellowship hall, the entire building, and we're asking for life survival items. We don't want old bags of clothes. We want cases of water. We need toiletries. We need over-the-counter medication. We need baby wipes and hand sanitizer. Even as we work through the logistics, as the mayor said so eloquently, thank you. I think we can still take advantage of the moment to begin to store even now. We don't want to turn our back on our brothers and sisters. And so we're asking you can use our church as a drop-off site, 1904 Michigan Avenue. Not just this Sunday. After the cameras and the lights go off, our brothers and sisters will still need our help. And so throughout the month and beyond, Solid Rock will continue to be a storehouse every single Sunday. We cannot just have church, we have to be the church. I should get amen right there. So thank you so much. Solid Rock will always be on the front lines, not just because it's people of color, can stand up. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pastor. Now, I just want to say one thing. You have a biblical name, Matthew, but I was asked by our past president, how do you spell your last name? Or
My last name is Quainoo.
how do you spell that?
It's spelled Quainoo. It's from Ghana, West Africa.
Thank you, Pastor. Quainoo. Thank you. Thank you.
At this time, we've been given 2 questions from the audience that we're going to answer, and then I'm going to.
We just have a message from the Council General.
Oh, is the Council General here? All right, let's pivot to that, and then we're going to answer these 2 questions, and then we're going to have our Mayor Pro Tem close the formal meeting.
Yeah, this is a short message. I was reminded to inform everyone today from the Council General that the islands of the Bahamas remind you that this compiles of over 700 islands, 30 of which have habitations. And to remind you that the islands affected will recover, that Bahamas will be reopened.
Yes.
And thank you for your prayers and support. But just know the Bahamas still exists, still is beautiful, and that the other islands will still be open.
Thank you for that. Okay, we had a question from Renee McHart. What are other congressional congressmen and women doing right now for relief efforts? Our whole delegation is signing on to a letter to waive visa requirements for Bahamians. I know we'll be talking about foreign aid funding when we get back. Keep in mind, these agencies already have money and they're deploying that money. I estimate it's millions of dollars a day based upon the Department of Defense, Coast Guard assets over there, USAID and others. And then there's some direct relief directly to the Bahama Red Cross, but it should be no surprise given the close relationship between the government of the Bahamas and the U.S. that we are one and the same with regard to the relief effort. Another question, Carlos Cruz, donation drop-off locations, secured organizations. I'm going to close with answering that question. With that, okay.
Yes, I just want to ask the Caribbean Association if you would reach out to the Osceola County School. We have so many students, and I'm being close to students, and that being my career, they're in my heart always. So if someone would reach out to them, and I know that there are a lot of students out there hurting, and I know that perhaps some came in from the hurricane, came here for refuge. So let us reach out to them as well. Superintendent Videographer.
Correct. Thank you, Principal McMillan. And you know, I have to say that so that everyone knows that you were a former principal in the county. In our organization, we have currently 4 teachers in the county, including 2 deans. My wife is also a retired dean, who you know well. We're gonna take your advice, and we'll reach out to Deborah Pace. I'll have our Vice President, Nicole Reed, initiate that conversation and take the lead in regards to, and Shelly Briggs, take the lead in regards to formulating that policy. So thank you.
With that, I'm going to make some brief remarks, and then I'm going to have our Mayor Pro Tem have the closing statements. And thank you again for having us here. I want to talk briefly about safety, unity, and charity. Safety first. Our Coast Guard, our Bahamian naval assets, the Royal British Navy, they are on the ground, and we heard from some of our first responders, from our sheriff to our veterans here, about how the first effort is to empower them so they can save lives. That's over the next several days as we do search and rescue. Unity, that's why we're here today. We in Central Florida understand what it's like to get hit by hurricanes and be the beneficiary of goodwill and help from other areas. The Panhandle knows that through Hurricane Michael, and certainly my family's native island of Puerto Rican and the Virgin Islands know that unity is critical after Hurricane Maria. And now we're here, having been spared from Hurricane Dorian, united for the Bahamas. And finally, charity. Right now, over the next few days, the Red Cross and USAID need whatever funding we get them. Over the mid to long term, we've heard from organizations today, like CAFA, like the NAACP, like our local churches and businesses who will be helping with those long-term commodities that we will need, because this is a long-term effort. And I commit to you that we will work with the federal government to get the Bahamas the money that it needs to help rebuild from the U.S. government as well. And with that, I want to end with our Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you so much, Commissioner Eady, for having us.
I just want to say I'm amazed and pleased at the turnout that we had here today. There's a saying in life, in order for something good to happen, something bad must take place. We just lived it. We just lived it. We watched a hurricane literally wipe out an island, and now we're here to help them recover from that. Each and every one of us have a charge to take in that effort. And just coming here to participate in this roundtable is your first step. So on behalf of the American Caribbean Association and myself, I want to thank each and every one of you. Please reach out to your neighbors, your employers, everybody. We did this before. We assisted with Irma and Maria. We assisted with 9/11. Remember that? We did that. So we can do this. Not only can we do it, but we will do it. Yes. Why? Because it's in our heart. Yeah. And I believe it was Ms. Mellissa said earlier, in order to get a blessing, you need to be one. You need to be one. And this right here is the blessing that we need to bestow on. We have got to help, as you said, Karen, our brothers and sisters home. Because you know what? Like I said earlier, that could have been us. But man upstairs, he's seen it fit where instead of us being the victim, we're the ones that's going to help the survivors. That's a big take. That's a big take. So thank you all for coming out. Hope to see you again, and let's keep this going. Oh yes. Veronica, thank you for taking notes. And I want to recognize one person, Miss Leah West. Leah came from Port County.